So I just spent the last, I don't know how many hours, several hours, trying to get this sucker out because I need a different dynamo. This is the old dynamo. It's been sitting in there for God knows how long. And this housing was a pain in the ass. There was one last bolt, the one here, big long one, ruined that thing, taking it out. Here's, look at the head of this. Sorry, bad camera. Oh, ruined this thing, but I'm sure I'll be able to get another one. This big long one, that would not come out, it was rusted solid. It's alloy, you know, so anyway, now big reveal, taking this off. Ugh, that's why I couldn't get the dynamo out. Look at the gunge in there, man. Oi, and this stuff, I mean, I think I'll be able to clean this up and reuse it, maybe. There's a big crack in the top there. But oh my God, so this is why the engine won't move, right? So more to come. I got this nut off quite easily, but I can't get the pulley off. And I got the cylinder head, the cylinder block nuts off. Brass, by the way. I mean, this has come off so easy. Well, maybe they were steel, but the exhaust manifold were brass, right? So the exhaust manifold come off super easy. So more to come. Okay, whew, another reveal time. Got the cylinder head off. Just, God, I can't lift it. Getting old. Hold on. Right, there's the cylinder head. So, oh, pretty good neck, really. Carbon, you would expect a carbon build-up, but not too terrible compared to some I've seen, you know. Obviously, the whole engine's still seized up with all that gunk underneath, but I've been soaking. It had some automatic transmission fluid left over, and I've been soaking it all. That's why everything's so wet. You can see, you know, where I took all the bolts off, remember, for the cylinder block. There's all the valve train, all pretty oily looking. I think it was pretty much like that. And I told you about taking the exhaust manifold off with all those brass nuts, the original brass nuts. The cylinder head bolts not in such good nick, right? So a couple of them broke when I was loosening off, and there's an odd one here, really. Different diameter, this one. Made the cylinder head really difficult to get off. Of course, I ruined the cylinder head gasket getting the cylinder head off, but it came off a lot easier than I thought it would. So the saga continues. You know, I don't know what the, it's hard to tell, the bores are so disgusting. You can't tell if there's any lips or how much. You know, the odometer said 44,000 miles. Maybe that's accurate. We'll find out as we gradually free this all up. I'll fill these bores with the fluid and try and ease things off. And then, of course, have to turn it back upside down again and try and get into those crankshaft bearings and free those up as well. But as I clean all this up, maybe I'll be able to free things up and get them to move. Obviously, I don't want to force anything. If I can get this block off, I think I can get to that little camshaft that's underneath here, you know, that's all gummed up as well. And if I can free that, you know, put all kinds of fluid down in here. You can see all the gunk still in here, right? But I've cleaned a lot of that out. My dad told me there's no way I'm going to get this pulley off without breaking it. We'll see. And I got part of the, you know, got the clutch off. I need to make myself a little puller to pull this off. I mean, I can send off to the UK and get a puller, but still to come on that. A little bit of clutch bearing surface there. I did with the other half of it, but I'll show you that later. So the work continues. Now I got the cylinder head off. Really wasn't that difficult. Talk soon. Okay, I know I'm showing my rookie status here, but that exhaust manifold gasket came off really easily. And look at this cylinder head gasket. Oh my God. Honest to God, you know, the last time I changed the cylinder head and, you know, decoked and changed the cylinder head gasket and all that, I mean, I was 17 years old, so 40 years ago, more than 45 years ago. Honest to God, I think I've reused cylinder head gaskets that were in worse state than this. I mean, I know I kind of delaminated it a little bit with getting this cylinder head off, but look at this. I mean, that's, I don't know if you can make it out. That's shiny brass, right? Copper, whatever, you know. Probably real asbestos in the middle of it. We've got to think about that. But anyway, that's a hell of a good nick, really. you know. Anyway, just wanted to share that. Okay, all you Austin 7 veterans are going to laugh. I think I messed up here. I started to get the block off, and you know, I'm getting it off, but obviously I kind of forgot about all this. I don't know, cam followers maybe? I don't know. Push rods. I'm kind of lost a wee bit. It's so long since I've done this, right? But I think I got to take all the valves out, right? Before I take the block off. Can't remember. Anyway, so quick kind of stop right now before I damage anything. I got the block up. I don't know if I just wiggle it some more, maybe I'll get it off. But I've seen to kind of hit a bit of resistance here. So what I'll do is I'll take all the valves out. I get a little bit of cardboard set up, you know. I seem to remember, you know, and as you take each valve out, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And keep them all together along with the quarters and the springs and the blah, 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 blah. I think, okay, so it's been a while. But I'll take all that off and then maybe the block will come off easier. I don't know if you need to take all them off before you take the block off. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do. More to come. So, despite my rookie mistake, I still didn't take the valves out. This is, you know, turned the engine around. There's the I don't know what I call them, tappets, I can't remember. The push rods, the equivalent of the push rods that rest on the camshaft, they're there at the back there. But I managed to get the block, you know, moving. Got those pistons using a lot of, you know, this stuff. It's actually silicone grease. I ran out of the enzymatic cleaner stuff, but I'm gradually getting this block off. Slowly moving, wiggling back and forth, patience, you know, trying not to break nothing. But so, you know, this is what it looks like as I move the block up. I don't know exactly what I'm looking at there. There's the top of those pistons. You know, we were just looking at those. Those are the ones that were down in the bore. Those that were first to come out. You know, it's remarkable, really, considering the gunge in the thing. Anyway, I'll keep on pulling these out, and then once I get the block completely out, then we'll have a good look at those pistons, huh? Maybe I'll be able to get this darn camshaft and crankshaft to move then. Okay, more coming. Yay, got the block off. There it is over there. You know, I just left all the valve gear in there. I'll dismantle that later. And you know the reason I did that? I could not find a wrench to fit. I've got a couple of BSFs. None of the Whitworth fit on those damn things, so, you know, I'll go on the forum and find out what the friggin' size of those things are. Anyway, I don't have a wrench to fit them, but anyway, there's the bores, right? So, you know, give them a good clean up and we'll have a look. But, you know, remarkable, the condition of this, considering, you know, I mean, it's full of shit, but still remarkable. Remarkably intact is what I'm getting at, right? So, you know, I'll clean this stuff up and then we'll have a go at getting into, there's my wee camshaft down there, see? I may be able to free all that up now and finally get this moving. It's going to be a celebration, I'll tell you. I'll dance a jig. Okay, so more to come, my little Austin 7 engine, right? I mean, this has been sitting for at least 50 years, this thing, so remarkable it's coming apart. Okay, so this is where I'm at and where I'm going to stop for tonight. My dad had suggested to take the oil pump out. That's the oil pump right there. But I don't know if you can see this shaft running up here. But anyway, it's pretty well embedded, and I took the bottom of the oil pump off, a couple of bolts. I can't actually understand how to take the oil pump off. There's a screw there that won't move. I don't know if it just wiggles out, but I'll tell you, it's buried in gunk right now. I don't think you can see it unless there's some better light in there. But anyway, then when I was looking at this, I thought, doesn't that camshaft look as if it's bent right there? That's why the engine stopped getting used. Maybe it's just my imagination, I don't know, but right at that bearing there, I don't know what to call it, whatever's holding the camshaft in place, it looks as if it's bent, right? And you know, the threaded piece here, I don't know, all the purists will be cringing. Whatever it is that drives that oil pump looks as if it's out of position, right? So I don't know, maybe that's the problem. If you look at that camshaft, I mean, the whole thing's still buried in gunk, but I got at it and cleaned around it. It looks bent. We'll find out when we take it out. But anyway, the next thing I'll do, I guess, is take all the pistons out. I need to check the shells anyway. I mean, you know, if you want to reuse the engine, you're going to put new shell bearings in, or, you know, white metal or whatever it is. I think this is a two bearing crankshaft, right? Because there's no bearing in the middle, just a bearing at either end. The bearings are very gummed up. I mean, I've soaked them, nothing's happening now. I put a lot of pressure on that to try and turn it, not even wiggling. There's not a slightest bit of movement in there. And the other thing that I can't get off is this bit that I broke. My dad gave me a new nose cone. I think I showed you the new nose cone. This bit was, you know, this alloy was all friable. It just broke right off when I put any pressure on the starting handle to try and turn the engine. And no wonder, I mean, there's no way this engine's turning. But my problem is, you know, I want to take this off to get at that, and I can't get this pulley off. So I need to go to the forum and find out. I mean, I've given that a good thump, and my dad says, you know, you're just going to destroy it taking it off. I was hoping not to destroy it. I even tried turning it, thinking maybe it had threaded itself on. I don't actually know how to get that off. So other than just hammer it, you know, break it to pieces, seems wasteful. So I'll go on the forum and see if there's an easy way of doing that. There's all my little pistons sitting there. The two that are out, you know, up, you know, they're moving. They're free. They're all the piston rings, even look in good condition, you know. But those two at the bottom, no movement. So I'll take the pistons off, right, and the con rods and all that good stuff. I need to check those shell bearings, and maybe I'll be able to move the crankshaft then without taking the crankshaft out. My dad said don't do that, it's a pain in the ass to get it all put back together again if you need to renew the bearings and everything, the main bearings. So I'll have a go at all this, see if I can get that oil pump out, and then gradually work my way through to this camshaft. I think I'll need to take that camshaft out. I really suspect it's bent. I've never heard of a bent camshaft before. Is there such a thing? I don't know. And of course I need to take the rest of the flywheel off, as I was explaining. I put that big nut back on to try and turn the crankshaft. Forget it. I mean, I put a huge plumber's wrench on that monkey wrench and I couldn't move it. Okay, so more to come. Thank you. So next episode of the Austin 7, I'm kind of faking this a wee bit because I just managed to pull this off. I used the hub puller, this little sucker, and I was pulling. I couldn't knock it off with the hammer, and then suddenly it just boom, like a snap, right? I thought, oh god, I broke something. But I actually popped this whole thing off. I'd taken all the nuts and bolts off before, so this is what's inside. I mean, it's remarkable. Look at the gunge in that, my friend. That's like where the starting handle goes in, see? And that's all kind of supposed to mesh together. Camshaft and crankshaft, maybe? Sorry, showing my ignorance here. But nothing's going to turn while that's in that state, right? So I'm going to try and clean all that up, and I'll get back to you as I clean up. So I'm taking a break for a minute, and I'm using the PB Blaster catalyst release agent, right? And I turned it up on its end, and I've just soaked that entire bearing. I got it from the other side sitting horizontally, but it didn't seem to free anything. So I'm just going to leave it soaking for a while. I loaded up that bearing with the catalyst cleaner and release agent, so we'll see what happens with that. I also did the bearing down here and flooded that with the catalyst cleaner. All the big ends on the crankshaft are all turning easily, right? So it's not that that's stopping it from turning. Now, I'm hoping that there's nothing wrong with that camshaft, right? If I can release the crankshaft, I'll be able to get to the camshaft, but we'll see. Right, we'll just leave it soaking for a while and see if it does its magic. And I'll come back to you. That was a big thing, getting that alloy cover with this sucker, getting that off. Right, it was a big deal.